Hello, my name is Lillianna. I am in 9th grade and this is my 4th year in 4-H. Today I would like to show you how I made this mosaic. This mosaic is slab ceramic that I cut and painted individually by hand and assembled. First, it helps to make sure you don't have any jewelry on your hands, and also it helps to have short nails. Make sure to put your hair back. This is clay. Clay is found in the ground, except we get ours from the store. They already have cleaned it and all, and it is much easier and softer to move. It helps us roll it up. The first step of making a mosaic is slabbing. This is a slabbing board. It has 2 pieces of raised wood on the side. That way when you roll the clay, it comes out nice and even. This is a carving tool. We use this to help cut our pieces. This is much easier. Then take out the clay. But before you start, you want to make sure you have your design. This is just a rough sketch of what I'm doing now. The design helps you know what you're going to make. These are cutting tools. These are helpful to cut up these. There are lots of different shapes. You're going to need different shapes and different sizes to make your mosaic. You need a lot of these. Once you have your pieces cut out, it's time to put them into the kiln. Come with me. Let me show you what the kiln is. This is the kiln. This is what potter used to fire their pieces. The kiln gets very hot. It is much hotter than your average oven at home. This gets up to about 2,000 degrees. That's hot enough to melt metal. This is what it looks like inside. These are stilts. This is what you put your pieces on when they go into the kiln. That way when the paint is on, it doesn't melt and make a mess of this is a shelf. This is what the stilts go on. This goes inside the kiln. And this is a cone. A cone is basically like a timer. When the kiln gets hot, it bends. And when it bends, it basically bends far enough. And when it bends far enough, the kiln shuts off. This is greenware. This is what you put the stuff in the kiln as. And when it comes out of the kiln, it comes out as bisque. Greenware is very fragile. Bisque is a little harder, but still be very careful with it, but much easier to work with. Now we have to go back and trace a number. This step is important to make sure you have them all in the right places. What you do for this part is you take a pencil and you outline the piece. And then you write down the number of the piece that you're on. And then you take your piece and you sketch it in. That way you can match up the number to the number on the board. After this is time to paint. There are many kinds of paint that we use. This is glaze. It goes over underglaze. Underglaze have many bright and colorful, but you need a clear glaze to go on top of them. That way when they come out, they're nice and shiny. Otherwise, it turns out flat. There's also glaze, which comes out pretty and shiny, and this is crystal glaze. Crystal glaze has lots of minerals in it at the bottom. You take your brush and you spray it across with the minerals, and when you put it in the kiln, the minerals burst, and inside it comes out really like a pretty little pattern. There are many other paints, like mother of pearl, gold, and silver. These ones are really expensive, like $35 a bottle for this little container. The mother of pearl makes an iridescent shine, like inside of a seashell, and the gold adds a pretty little touch to it. And I also use different kind of paint on my mosaic. It's called lava foam. It adds a nice texture. I used it on the waves. These are different kinds of brushes. There are big brushes to get the paint on. And then there are smaller brushes to add more detail and design. When washing your brushes afterwards, it's important you don't leave the brushes in the water. You don't want to drown the brush. Otherwise, it can turn out flat and wreck the brushes. Then, once you have your pieces painted, it is time to go back into the kiln. You must put these pieces back in, and then they harden again, and the paint turns into glass. It comes out sort of like this. Then it is time to stick the pieces down. Take the piece with the number and you align it on. This is mortar. The mortar allows it to stick to the piece and helps it stay. It's like concrete. You simply apply it on and put it in the spot. Then press it down and wait. You have to wait 24 hours for it to dry. After 24 hours, it should look something like this. It is very difficult to get off. Then after that, it is time to grout. This is the grout. What the grout does is it fills in all the spaces. It looks something like this. You simply take this tool and you apply it in and fill in all the spaces. It takes a couple times to get in each crack. After that, you wait 3 hours. Then with a sponge, you wet the sponge or a paper towel, bring out water, and wipe down each individual piece. And then, after 24 hours, you take your sponge again and you wipe down the whole piece. That way, the shine comes through. And then you have to wait 7 days for it to cure. After the 7 days, we use this spray. This is the sealer. You spray it onto the piece, and that helps it get protected from the water. So if you keep your mosaic outside as a decoration, it won't get ruined. Then it is time to frame your piece. So basically, for making a mosaic, the summary is you need to have your design, slab it, cut it out, put it in the kiln, trace it, then paint it, and after that, you put it back in the kiln to be fired again, then you mortar it and grout it, then frame it, and your piece is done. Oh, and spray it if you're keeping it outside. Any questions?
How many pieces are in your mosaic? How many little pieces did you have to make?
Well, in my mosaic, there are over 200 pieces and more.
How long did that take you to make?
The question was how long did it take me to make? This took me about 3 to 2 months to make.
Are you planning to enter it in the fair?
Due to COVID-19, the Ocean County Fair got canceled, but I'm looking forward to entering it into the virtual fair. Thank you!